Hey guys, this is Magical Lady Duchess, and today I'm going to be doing a video on five different ways to honor our ancestors. Um, we all have ancestors, both by blood and by spirit, and in each one of our lives, they rest firmly on the foundation of we rest firmly on the foundation of their sacrifice. If it had not been for them, we would not be where we are. Um, They're very near and dear to us as breath and bones. And when related within our conscious ways, they can be a tremendous source of healing, guidance, and companionship. The ancestors that we choose to honor may not only include like recent and more distant family, but also could be beloved friends in our community. They could also be different deities. They can be of different cultural and religious leaders, and even other than the kin, such as companion animals. You can also um, honor your, maybe you had a familiar that passed away, and you can also honor them as well. Our ancestors bring a very vital and support to fulfill our potential here on earth, and through involvement in our lives, also further in their own growth and maturation in the spirit realms. Like the living, spirits of the deceased run the full spectrum from wise to loving to self absorbed and harmful. Physical death is a major event for the soul. It's a rite of passage. We all face this. And the living can provide critical momentum for the recently deceased to make the initiatory leap from becoming a helpful ancestor, so to speak. Um, Once the dead have become ancestors, part of their post death journey may include making repairs for wrongs that they committed while they were living here on earth. For the sake of them and for ourselves, it's good to spend a little time now and again feeding our relationships with our ancestors, especially again if you use different deities. Um, Five suggestions I've made, none which require a belief in any specific tradition or dogma. They're all safe and effective ways to assist our beloved dead and welcome the ongoing support and blessings of the ancestors of our everyday lives. The first thing that I want to say is fulfill your soul's purpose as an ethical and loving person. The most and important challenge way to honor your ancestors is to fulfill our personal potential and our life's purpose here on earth. It's nothing like getting to those final days of living and having regret. That's certainly not something that you want to do, and I want to do either. Many cultures maintain that we each have a unique destiny or karma to fulfill, and that we ideally make it a high priority to kind of remember these original instructions and to do what is necessary to express our gifts or our true will, and most importantly ourselves. Ancestors are seen as allies in the way of thinking that they are here to assist, and they help in the process of remembering, and they're a reservoir of power and backing us to help embody what our life's full potential shall be in this lifetime. um when we have a lost touch with a sense of greater purpose, or when we have lost touch, I guess. Sorry, y'all, I was typing this kind of fast. When we have lost touch with a sense of greater purpose, if we're fortunate, the ancestors may bring about those life changes aimed to jar us in greater contact with our soul's longing and increase awareness of the agreements made before our birth. Because I do believe that we are all born with a purpose from the beginning. And as you live out your soul's purpose. And you can use your ancestors to help you be that more loving person, to get you more centered, um, and to help you with the destiny that you're going to walk in. Speaking of destiny, it's the reality that it's really difficult to really actualize our full potential until our life and relationships are more or less in order, which means you need to be grounded. This is a gradual and centering progress. and process. It does not happen overnight, y'all. It doesn't happen overnight. It does not happen overnight. So the gradual and ongoing work of being the conscious person may be including things like learning how to express your emotions in a more healthy way, committing to tell the truth in every relationship that you're in, reaching out for necessary support, maybe to get sober or whatever the case may be, seeking education to better yourself, taking better care of your bodies, and generally accepting greater responsibility for becoming a loving and reliable human being. Whatever helps us to become more ethical, more balanced, and more open hearted is one of the most powerful and sincere offerings that we can make to our ancestors. Okay. The next thing is dedicate positive actions in the name of your ancestors. Nearly all traditions have some way of recognizing what the spiritual benefits of good deeds and generosity. Charity and Christianity traditions, dana in Buddhism, in Hinduism, are a few like religious expressions of nearly universal theme of practicing generosity, affirming our interrelativeness with the care for others. The indigenous had a tremendous way of life, and tend to emphasize the need of sharing wealth and blessings that flow from a living and helpful service oriented of life. The Mongolian, the shaman, is a friend, a teacher. There was also one, what is it? Sarah Saraangerel Sangreal, a friend and a teacher. He passed in 2006. And he described shamanism as the science of engineering the wind horse. He said that it was a force, it was a house force within his chest. It was a part of who he was. Very strong wind horses allow one to think clearly and analytically and see through deception. Um, Wind horse is a power which allows shaman and other powerful people to accomplish what needs to be done simply and easy. One uses personal power towards harmful ends or upset the balance of the universe will deplete the wind horse. Wind horse can be increased by actions to restore balance in the universe and through our religious practice. This is something that he said, and I believe that. In this way, God, I'm just clearing my throat. Um, in this way, this is a tangible and usable energy in an energetic field that helps one to take action for the good. Again, being positive helps the universe. It helps you. It creates a ray of light and hope in the name of the ancestors. That's one way that you can do. You can dedicate that positive energy. You can dedicate that positive nature for the ancestors. Um, Having clear focus in meaningful intent, meaningful action, meaningful activity, personal connecting, evaluating the consciousness of the beloved dead, all help to enhance the effectiveness of this practice. Again, this is all dedicating good deeds and stuff to the ancestors. This is a way to dedicate, to honor them. Because when they do things for you, you should be extremely grateful. Believe it or not, they help in every aspect or part of your life, whether you believe it or not. Um, the next thing is stay open to direct communication from the ancestors. Direct contact with the spirits or ancestors can be kind of cultivated through ritual practices. However, communication may also happen spontaneously in forms of like dreams or waking encounters or synchronicity. Baby, this Louisiana, Texas accent of mine. Synchronicity. When we have a framework to receive their outreach, their work is made easier. When we are open to the enjoyment of the consciousness, ongoing relationships does develop. Talking or even just listening to dead people, so to speak, or your so to speak. I need some water, but I'm gonna get this video out. Do you hear me? With respect of hearing like voices, experience communication with the deceased, it's almost never an indicator um, of a psychosomatic process of breakdown of reality. It's just you communicating with your ancestors, and it's nothing wrong with it. Um, If you are one of those who have any doubts whether you are going to come unglued or consider reaching out for support because you are afraid of something that's going to happen or something like that, tell them that. That's communicating so they know how to approach you in a better way. Another important concern is making sure that you are mostly engaging with loving and evolved ancestors and not with conflicted or even manipulative type of ancestors. If you have guides that you work with the spirit, call upon them to provide a second opinion on your ancestors, contacting them to ensure that they're trustworthy. Um, Simply taking a moment to consult your personal instincts is extremely important and often sufficient to determine if any spirit is basically loving or well intended. As a general guideline, if your relationship with an ancestor is not helping you to become more empowered, more ethical, and a loving person, then don't do it. Um, the next few are kind of talking about where I said you can contact your ancestors by dream visitation. And that's kind of like it's like a well-placed, emotionally charged dream. Not all dreams of the dead necessarily involve direct spirit contact. And discerning when the ancestor is actually trying to get through is not always easy. However, contact dreams are often accompanied by a felt sense of actually meeting the deceased loved one or your deity, goddess, or God. These dreams may include receiving messages of some kind, of healing around the loss of an accompanied loved one from death. If the dream has a quality of contact and the deceased seems in distress, you may often have to offer like a direct prayer, healing ritual, and positive energy towards their elevation and happiness. If the ancestor seems well in spirit, we'll simply be open to their visit to support future dreams and contacts and other forms and relationships. So basically, is this sometimes they come and visit you in your dreams, and I suggest that you take a pen and paper, kind of have that by your bedside or whatever it is that you choose to use, so that you can write down those dreams. Because as long as if you wake up and the longer that you are woke or awake, you will forget. Um, yeah, you forget. So try to keep that. That's just like a little tidbit so you can remember what you dream about. The next one is like a waking encounter. And sometimes at the strangest moments, even for those who don't believe in spirits or seek out to contact with the ancestors or the dead, they just appear. They may come at a time of crisis or an intensity like a near death experience, or 4 hours into a strong acid trip. Often they come in everyday moments while driving, laying down before you go to sleep, or walking the dog. Sometimes these visitations are subtle, and if we're not careful, we can easily dismiss them as an imagination or a fantasy. For most people, these encounters are visualized, not even auditory, kind of like, but there's usually like a sense of someone being present for a moment, direct knowing. For those with a former practice of ancestry reverence, it's a strong link with the unseen realms. Such encounters may be kind of common, but not necessarily charged with a more meaning than a phone call from a friend. Even when if we never seek to direct contact them from outside, just kind of keep an open mind about the possibility of our beloved connecting to us and contacting us during our everyday life. It's a great way to honor the unbreakable bond with the ancestors and the outer world or the other world. Um, also, establish a place to honor the ancestors. um this doesn't have to be, you don't have to do it every day. You don't have to have like a huge altar. Just having a place to honor the dead can function as a kind of deposition. The underlying principle is that letting go of the unconscious identification with the ancestors and the unassuming instead of stance of a relationship. Designate a specific physical place to honor the ancestors. It might be on your dresser. It might be in a corner of a room. It might be on your altar. It could be on your bookshelf, and all you have is a picture of your grandmother because that's who you choose to honor, and a candle. It's really on you. The location and nature of your ancestor honoring may place widely, based off of what your traditional and personal style is. Um, trees, mountains, natural features can also be related to a heightened sense of connecting to the ancestors. The most common type of place of is like a family shrine or a family level size shrine or um anywhere, your fireplace. So don't feel like you have to establish a personal ancestor, altar in your home necessarily. It could be outside, right by the patio door. It could be by a plant. You can honor them by having a plant and doing libations. I will tell you that the Egypt love beer, so you can do a dedication and a libation outside, pour a little beer out, and you're honoring your ancestors. I don't want you guys to get so caught up into thinking that you need a bunch of things because you don't necessarily need that. You just need something, especially if you're using your ancestors. You just want to honor them. You just want to say thank you. You just want to show humility. That's what all of this is about. Um, you don't have to necessarily there's no right way or wrong way. That's my perspective. And you guys can feel however you want to. I just think that being grateful is just being grateful. And showing and honoring them is just honoring them. If you know of a deity or a Egyptian goddess or a Roman goddess and you know what they like, then those are the things that you would do to honor them or you to use, like making offerings to the ancestors. Human lovers tend to appreciate the blend of respect and passionate kindness and quality of each other. Plants seem to enjoy the balance of sun and the moisture and healthy soil. The Buddha seems to have a taste for incense, while the goddess may favor honey, flowers, all sweet things. Just as we need to feed our human relationships with particular kinds of attention, engagement, and gifts, well, so the relationships with the ancestors can be fed through the practice of making intentional offerings. Acts of ritual feeding may underscore a request we're making with our ancestors to convey gratitude, support that we've already received, just as sustaining the intimacy of the ongoing relationship as well. Um, I would say determine what kind of offerings they like. Then present the offerings along with your intention. And after you do that, the offer will be well received. Finally, stay open to guidance and a ripple effect. Um, Physical offerings may include food, drink, coins, cloth, tobacco, ash, tears, stones, and other objects, flowers, fires, creation from our hands. Offerings to the ancestors may also take less physical forms of a song or dance or prayer, practices of healing, forgiveness, release. Um, this is a long video. The conclusion is you don't have to be indigenous or a shaman or a ghost to whisper, to have a healthy relationship with your ancestors. We all have loving ancestors who want us to fulfill our destiny as happy and well adjusted people. In my experience, our ancestors are good. They're great and ideal for family healings as they invest in their future in generations. I'm going to show you real quickly. This is the way that I honor my ancestors. Oh. I use I should have been prepared. This is a nice plate. You can use this nice plate. You can use a plate of gold. You can whatever. But this is what I do. This what I have going around. I like to use honey. This is like a really this is like sugar. And it's sugar that's liquefied. And it's really I use this in my love spills too, by the way. And then these little corn, it looks like popcorn seeds, but they're blue and they're really good for indigenous ancestry type of offerings. I would take my gold candle, I would light it at the bottom. This is how I do, and I do this 2 or 3 times a week, and I'm just saying thank you because I appreciate everything the ancestors do for me. I even use like little birthday candles. You can light them. You can light them and stick them around the plate, however many. If you do it once a week, do 7 days. I also found these, and they're like little glittery birthday candles. I like giving my ancestors a lot of stuff. Put cakes and pies, and put a little cup of beer. And these are little those seeds that I was telling you about. You can use whatever you like to honor them. It's up to you. Uh, this was my video. This is like a hard video to do. This is my video on ancestry appreciation. Literally 5 ways to honor your ancestors. At the end of the day, they help us. They're here. They stop us from getting hurt. They play a major part of our lives, even if you don't believe it or not. They do. Um, be proactively engaging in simple acts to honor and feed these relationships. Our ancestors become a tremendous source of healing for us, a tremendous source of empowerment, nourishment in our everyday lives. Um, just be sure to do them simply and carry them out with sincere intent. This is my video on 5 ways to honor your ancestors. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Um, there's no right or wrong way, guys, as long as you do it with a good heart, because that's what's important. And be thankful. My name is Magical Lady Duchess. You can find me on Infinite Energy. That's my Facebook group. You can also find me on my website at www.magicalladyduchess.com, and that's Magickal. If you want to email me, if you need a reading or any type of workings, you can also email me or contact me on my website. But you can email me at magicalladyduchess@gmail.com, and that's Magickal. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate you. I love you, and bye. Blessed be.